Hello, everybody, and I'm here with Magazine Instagram. Thanks for tuning in to our interviews that we put to our podcast, which is on 7 different podcast streams, including Apple and Spotify. So this next guest that I have, you guys, we're going to bring her on in a very short minute, is somebody that, I can't keep smiling. Oh my goodness. I can't stop smiling because Alana Hawley Purvis is someone that just is somebody in our community in Calgary, Alberta. She's a mother, she's a friend, she's a daughter. She's so much more than just an artist. But behind the scenes, we have known her for quite some time. I think some of you in the Calgary industry remember Garrick Winston. And he was a beautiful soul himself as well. And, when he left the earth the way he had to, a lot of people, reached out to each other who knew him. And Alana and I knew him in a way that we worked with him. He was always trying to make his own first feature. And I remember that about Garrick, and he was such a sweet person. And in the end of his life, he was actually a member of CSIF or the board of Calgary Film, I think, something like that. And it was a big deal for him. And he made it, he made it to that level. And it would have made a huge influence. But he had cast Alana in a short, and it was called The Great Fear, and it was this guy named Ian, I can't remember his last name, but he was the sweetest guy, and he was out of Vancouver. And I got asked by him, can you do makeup for me, for this short that I'm doing? It's got all our friends in it, say Neil Enoch, Al Stickle, so many amazing actors were in it. But really the top person that I was so excited to work with was Alana, because she had a lot of history of being an artist for a long time, more so than our community in that movie. I think she was the star of the movie, of course, with Garrick. And they did such a great job, you guys. I should show you the trailer of this, but maybe I'll just make you guys go check it out. But we have Alana on to come today to talk with us, because tomorrow, you guys, we are going to see her live at Theatre Calgary for a play, and it's called Forgiveness of All Things. You guys, forgiveness is so important in life. So we're going to even ask her about questions about how this play has influenced her life. So anyways, Alana, we were doing some research, and we thought it'd be so nice for you guys to see her website. So this face right here, right? That is exactly who I think of when I'm thinking of her or see her face ever. That big smile that she has. And she had 2 twins, you guys, a boy and a girl. And I remember when I was sitting with her and we were chatting, and her husband also works with her and is an artist as well, and they get to do projects together now. And I remember that the struggle that they had to be an artist and to make it work in that sense, and they were far away from each other and sometimes. And I remember asking her, how do you make a relation work being a star, out of Calgary? It's very hard. You're always traveling everywhere to make it, and do a lot more things. And so she's really invested a lot of her life into being an actor, but she's also a coach, you guys. So that's actually something I didn't even know about her. And so we'll just read you for the podcast, we'll read you her bio. And it's Alana is an actor, a vocal coach, and an arts educator based in Vancouver, British Columbia. She's proud to be a Canadian artist. Her training and work has taken her across North America, Central America, working with such organizations as Stratford Festival, the Shakespeare Theatre Company, Canadian Stage, Citadel Theatre, and artirsts. I don't know if I said that right, arts. We are all storytellers, passionate about the power of communication. Her goal is to empower individuals to speak their truth, to find and embrace their authentic voice. So I just love that, and she's so authentic. So I want to show you something that maybe you don't know. I've never really done this before, but I'm just checking out her website so you know where to go. But she's an amazing acting reel. And I feel like before I bring her on, I just want you guys to really see her talent. So we're going to show it to you. Enjoy it for a few minutes.
Hurry, get it off of you. I don't feel anything.
Sneaks it in you. Like how the leprechaun drank the whiskey.
So it could have been any
Move
joke.
that way.
I'm not going to survive this, am I?
Allison says that she's a super babe. She totally is, yeah.
My nest is
One of the
about
most
5 miles
pretty
to
actors in Calgary, or in
The egg has
Vancouver,
to
in
beat it when
Canada.
it hatches or it won't survive. Go, we don't know how much time we have left.
No, we have to do something. No, you have to do something.
Go!
Jordan, Kayla.
Get away from me! Get my baby to safety! I said go! That's 2 days from now, Kim. The funeral's on Sunday.
Whew, got shivers.
Well, I guess it's Sophie's choice then, hon. I wish I had better news.
It's not a Sophie's choice. My fucking parents died.
I know, Frankie. I'm just the messenger here. I tried to get the network to consider...
Can't they push to Monday?
My hands are tied. I'm sorry.
So what if I don't show? What, are they gonna kill her off?
Maybe? I don't know. Look, I'm sorry, Frankie. The same thing happened to me when I was with...
Yeah.
We all feel like that at sometimes. That's what's beautiful about film, you guys. It really expresses the human
How's
emotion.
going with your replacement?
Carissa should be up and running in no time.
Good. Because we need to get you onto your next project sooner than expected.
Yes, that's great. I actually wanted to talk to you about that. So I think Mindset Mornings with Mindy is the show to target.
Yes, I saw the presentation you sent over.
She's just the perfect fit for the brand I've built. She's already got the steady numbers. I know I can get her to that next level.
Yes, but what is that next level? Good? Not really good. But not great? Your ratings are solid, but not wow. What you need next is a wow factor. People want a true star personality. A show that can be the mothership for the whole company. I have just that star. Okay. I didn't know my parents.
Hi, Jared. We're promoting the forgiveness play for tomorrow.
Sure.
We can't wait to have Jared on.
Where to? I liked boys and sex, music. I cut them out, and they cut me out. But now, I'm really not here to fuck anything up for you or your daughter. Don't worry, hon. The news said whatever's happening is miles away, and now we've got plenty of food, water, and ice cream. Joe and I will take care of you, okay? It's okay, Esme. Just do your fire breathing thing again.
I told you, I don't know how I did it. It was an accident.
Just be a big girl. You can have some ice cream later, okay? Keep us safe.
Oh, hello, hero. Oh, my goodness. We're promoting your play tomorrow, hon. We're just sharing Alana's work to lead into that conversation. We'll see you guys all tomorrow at the play.
Oh, I am, actually. Oh. Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you.
Okay, you guys, I want to just get on here and talk a little bit. We have Hero. Now he has just been in everything, okay? Like honestly, like literally everything. It's like, how does he even have time to be human when he's working this much? But I think we all know Hero. I hate to say his last name wrong. I'm not good with this, but it's so awesome. Here's a little tidbit about his play, you guys, for
Well, this is my second adaptation, and what I've learned is that in order to be successful, an adaptation can't be too faithful to the original. You have
Griffin's on. The whole cast of the stars of this forgiveness play is on. That's on tomorrow at Theatre Calgary. Oh my goodness, you
I also have a
guys!
responsibility to actual people, living people who.
Here we go. There's Griffin Cork who's on right now. Oh my goodness, you guys. So the details, okay? We have Griffin Cork and Yoshi Bancroft. Photo by David Cooper. And then here it is, you guys. There's still tickets left, I think, at Theatre Calgary. And the whole experience, they're on that stage for quite some time. They have been in Vancouver, and then they took a short break, and now they're in Calgary, you guys. So Mark Sakamoto made Forgiveness, and the stage adaptation is by Hiro Kanagawa. I hope I said that right. Oh goodness. And directed by Stratford Armira. Oh geez, sorry guys. Anyways, it's a joint production with the Arts Club and Theatre Company in Vancouver. And we're really excited to see this. We love the idea of forgiveness. So we want to ask Alana, we're going to bring her on pretty soon, about how this play has truly affected her and, what she's really feeling about working this hard for so long. And she must have so much passion. So I feel like, guys, now is the time. I do want to show you the beautiful magazine that we have for our next issue. And we do have Alana in there. So we're just going to squeeze by, flip, and find her page. And then we're going to bring her on. Oh, here we go. The beauties of Calgary. And there she is on the screen. It's a little bit blurry in this side. But look at that woman, the confidence that she has. Holy, here we go. So we're going to ask her all the things. Troy Finn is on. All the cool people are on. Alana, Hawley, Purvis. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it warms my heart so much hearing you talk about Griffin and talk about the past. And thank you so much for your amazing compliments and kindness.
You look beautiful today, sweetie. Thank you so much. I'm honored that Hero is watching. Can you please say Hero's last name? I'm having a star kind of like flutter from this.
I have that too when I met him. I actually hardly talk to him. When I look at him, I don't make serious eye contact. And then every time I look at him, I'm always like, oh, don't be such an idiot. Hiro Kanagawa is what I've heard. So I hope that's right. Otherwise, I'm going to hear it from Hiro. But
goodness. He's going to give me a hard time, I hope. Because, I need to learn this. But, I was just watching a movie that he was in. Like, honestly, every time I turn on the TV, he's on everything. It was this new show, something about Todd. It's kind of like a funny comedy, like courtroom drama, and he just like popped up, and I thought, oh my gosh, the universe is saying to me, I'm going to meet him. I would love to meet him. Yeah. So guys, I have tickets to Saturday's event. I know it starts on the 10th, tomorrow, so that's a big thing for you guys. So I'm just going to take a little seat, and we've got all the questions. But we want to ask you, how are you doing?
I'm doing so well. I'm honestly doing so well. I'm trying now at this phase in my life to actually receive that question and answer honestly. But I'm really doing well. I feel very, very lucky, like extremely fortunate to be a part of this ensemble and this show. And again, I mean that really clearly with all my heart. I've been fortunate, like many of the cast members, to do a lot of theater and a lot of good theater, but something about the show, Jill, just feels really important, like truly important. And so I feel humbled by it, and I'm kind of riding high on that.
Oh my goodness, just the topic of forgiveness. I'm super feeling this way as well. I really want to change and move forward in my life, and a lot of that has to do with forgiveness. Yeah. So I don't know if the play has anything to do with this topic of that kind of thing, or where they go with the story, because I haven't been able to dive into it. I really wanted to just go to the play and just be super organic about it and not be like expecting a thing. Because the thing is, I know so many people that are in it. I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, like watching the community growing and doing bigger things and all together. Like, you guys are all in Vancouver that were like hired, and some people like Jared is in Calgary. So I was very curious how the casting happened for that. Like, how did that go for you, hon?
Hero and Stratford Arima is the director, and Hero and Stratford are both very, very conscientious individuals, and they really prioritize making it a half and half split as much as they could. So half of the cast is from Calgary, roughly, and half of the cast is from Vancouver. So we're really representing both of those local communities, which is wonderful. And of course, the bigger bubble of cast, creative, and crew is from across the whole country, but they're really trying to honor those two locales. So that's great.
And we're just saying it like that, you guys, because I'm here with us out of Calgary, so we know the people that we're talking about, but we are so excited to see the whole play and the whole cast, the crew, everything, that the set design as well, and Hero, of course. So is Hero acting in this or no?
No, I wish. Okay. I literally saw off my pinky finger.
Hero. Yeah, that's okay.
No, Hero's written it. He's written it, right? So he is there. He's
it's his project.
Yeah. So he's there every minute, though. He's the creator. So he's there every minute, even right now today with us. He was in the hall. Yeah.
Okay, so today, what are you guys doing? Are you guys doing rehearsals today?
We literally just finally locked the show. Hero was making changes and edits to the script even last night. It's one of those things, right? Like a new Canadian
That's a thing, yeah.
I think you just never give up. And so it's frozen now, officially, just as of an hour ago. And we have a preview audience tonight, our third preview. And then we open the show tomorrow. So we're all feeling pretty pumped and I think pretty proud and impressed with the work and heart that went into it. Yeah.
Well, it's been promoted across Canada in a really big way, because with the magazine, we get like PR companies that send us information. And actually, Jared is actually on the back cover of our next issue with the Co-Rogues.
Nice.
Put him on. Yeah, so he was so shocked. I had an interview scheduled with him, and I wasn't well yesterday, so I had to cancel on him. And then he just think like, "What, you're doing one with Alana today? What's going on?"
I should just bring him in. He's somewhere. He's somewhere.
Tell him to get on camera. Oh my God, I'd love to see his face for the audience. But we're going to interview him, and I feel like, everything's divine timing. I can't wait to ask him how it went. So maybe, a few days or maybe when the play's over, we'll interview him of how it went. Because for you, we're going to talk to you about what's going on. We want to know what the play is about. That would be awesome if you shared that with us.
Yeah,
with the audience.
Absolutely. So it's Mark Sakamoto wrote a novel called Forgiveness. It's a beautiful award-winning novel. It's a true story about Mark's grandparents. So it's actually called, Forgiveness, a gift from my grandparents is what Mark calls it. And it is essentially, it's complex and it's deep, but it's essentially a story about the Japanese-Canadian internment that happened during World War II. And what Mark does so beautifully in the story, and what Hero captures as well in the stage adaptation, is that it's really honoring the story of two individuals, a Japanese-Canadian named Mitsue, and then a Canadian named Ralph, who was from the Magdalen Islands. And Ralph goes on to be a soldier in World War II, and Mitsue is interned with her family. So it's a 100% true story of these two individuals and their coming together and how Mark Sakamoto came into being. So it's his life story and his family's life.
Okay, that's why it's really to the heart of how he's promoting it. Okay, I can see that.
There were literally some audience members in Vancouver that were just like bawling through the whole show. It's extremely important.
Therapeutic, maybe.
Yeah, it's good.
My goodness, man. That is so funny. My mother was a theater actor herself, and my adoptive mother, right? Who's been my mother my whole life. But she is huge into plays, and it's my birthday on the 12th. And so for my birthday, she bought me tickets to come see you guys on the 11th. So I hope to see anybody I know there, But my mom, she's very educated in theater and acting and stuff, and she gave that up to have kids, me or whatever.
I do.
But I know she loves it still. And she's a very good singer and does this choir stuff. So she's very talented, knows talent. And so she's very excited to see you. And I was like telling her about, I know the actor. Oh my God, I hope I can introduce you, Mom, and show you like I'm a big deal. But I asked her, can you come up with some questions? Like you would know, like she would know what to ask. So she did write me like a whole list of questions to ask you. So I feel like my mom did my homework for me again. So I think she will laugh when she hears this. But I'd love to ask you. Her name's Kathleen Robinson, but she's not somebody who's public or on Facebook, so you can't find her and bother her. So not you. She would love if you bothered her, believe me. But my first question my mom did write was, what is the most challenging thing about being a part of this production? I know it's not easy doing acting at all, guys. So it's like, that's quite the question, but yeah.
Honestly, Jill, I don't think you're going to like my answer. And I'm trying to think, I'm like, is this true? But it is. This process hasn't been challenging. It hasn't been challenging. It's always artistically interesting and challenging. And in this show, I play 4 different roles. So that's really cool for me to try to take those on. And that's been a joy. But I think the reason why I intuitively want to say it hasn't been challenging is because it's just been a process where the support has been so magnificent, where the people have been so delightful, where the script has been so rich. So I don't think I'd use the word challenging. The one thing about this process that scares me, and it scares me every night, is that we're representing real people. And some literally on opening night, 3 of the family members that we are acting and pretending to be were in the audience. So yeah. So I think the scariest and most, it's such honor to do it, but it's terrifying.
There's anxiety with making sure you comes across right with what he wrote to how you were a bit magic. Yeah.
So I guess as far as challenging goes, that's the most challenging, is that this is a true story. This is somebody's heart that they have put into, onto paper, and it's our job to inhabit that authentically. And so that skating that line is really difficult. For me, I have the pleasure of playing an amazing woman named Phyllis, who's literally buried. She's Ralph's husband. She's buried here in Calgary. Yeah, it's incredible. But and it's interesting because the actor in me goes, oh, okay, there's amazing comedic elements here that I want to seize, But then the human in me goes, oh, damn it! Like, would Phyllis do this? Is she actually like this?
So, you know her, or get to know her.
Yeah. And so it's been really. Again, I don't know if I use the word challenging, but it's been intimidating that way.
You want to do pretty good justice. I know this feeling, yeah. I think you will, and because that's what I'm saying about you to the audience of how talented you are. I think it has a lot to do with the work that you've put into who you are and the people that surround you. Because you're not a negative person, babe. Oh my gosh, from the time I've met you, we're working together. I don't get to see you in a format of fun or whatever, but you're so much fun when I do see you working. And yeah, there's a lot of elements where people are method or they're so serious and when you get to set and the tone changes and that's fine, whatever works for them in that sense. But I do see that you kind of take a minute to talk to people on set, and even me, the makeup artist, and I was just starting and I didn't even have a magazine back then.
You're the most important. Yeah. Oh, that's a really nice call.
No, not at all, guys. I just love watching everybody and what they're doing. But, the magazine stemmed off helping people. And I know that you help people. And being a coach, I think you've helped a lot of people with their struggles with acting and finding themselves. And you write that's a nice quote on your website about, finding your authentic self. And I feel ever since I've known you, you have been super authentic. So that's a lesson that people can learn from you, is not to be I want to be like Alana and have this career that she has. Well, maybe look inside yourself, guys, first. So the next question is, what is your favorite thing about being a part of this production? Because we already talked about that, but
the people in the story, 100% hands down, the people in the story. Yep. Yeah, okay.
So here we go. My mom was a bit intuitive. She didn't know this, but she said, do you have any stories in your own family history that helped you connect to your character?
My grandfather, Lloyd Salkeld, was a prairie boy, and he was a veteran in World War II. And it's interesting, I haven't talked to Griffin Cork, who plays Ralph, our lead actor.
Yes.
And weirdly, it makes me emotional when I talk about Griffin looks a lot like my grandpa. My grandpa was he's passed away now, but he was very strong and tall and had the exact same body type as Griffin. So every time I hug Griffin, I get all verklempt about it. But
it's a beautiful reminder in your life, babe, to have him a part of your life here. Then,
yeah. Well, it's neat. It's neat, Jill, because even Hiro set up this beautiful thing where he had this gorgeous box. It's a Japanese tradition, as far as my understanding, where you write down wishes or messages or the names of your ancestors, and then he held them in the box and held the box during our opening show. So it was a really big honor to write down my grandfather's name for his contribution to the war. So that connection for me was wonderful. And I needed that connection, because especially because this story is so centered around Japanese Canadian internment. My family's not Japanese.
Who that is?
Yeah.
Who knows what that is, though? And most people like me, I'm like, what does that mean? So they'll learn that from watching the play. Yeah.
Totally. So yeah, there was that connection, and my family is all from the prairies. So even here, now that we get to bring this show to the prairies, my family's from here, so when we talk about farming, the farmers and the sugar beets, that's my lineage. And so it was really neat for me to go back and connect with people and understand why some things that were racist truly and inappropriate truly, where's the human behind that? What fear does that come from? You know what I mean? So it's been really good for me to unpack the multitude of what that means to do something that is so inhumane and yet have it come from such a human place, if that makes any sense. So that's been really exciting for me. So yeah,
I'm ready to cry, guys. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't wait.
It's a good show, Jill. I'm glad your mom's coming. It's a good show. People should see it. Yeah.
Yes, we will definitely. That's why we're promoting it today, but really we're promoting and celebrating you. It was Women's Day yesterday. I wish we would have done it yesterday almost, but that's okay. So we've got another question. Has this production changed your understanding of forgiveness?
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how so, too?
Because I'm an extraordinarily privileged human being. Extraordinarily.
It's very honorable of you to say that,
No, it's true.
Oh my goodness. Because no one thinks that way of you, and they think, oh, she's so lucky and beautiful and has her twins. But you worked hard for that, and you know how hard you work with. But yeah, it's very nice that you admit that.
Well, and I wouldn't discredit it, but I also think we're... this is long overdue, but we're living in a phase of the world where you need to honor when you're in a position of privilege, and I am. I don't actually know most people that
being in Canada. Yeah, being in Canada. Yeah, it's we're lucky to be
being healthy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, I lost my train of thought now. Now I'm just thinking about privilege.
So we're wondering what forgiveness the play taught you, in real life.
So what it taught me, Jill, is I think because as much as I can read about it or understand about it, about things that have gravitas like this play does, like being stripped and denied of your family, having all of your belongings sold out from underneath you, being put in a chicken coop for 4 months, those things I cannot empathize with. I cannot understand. And so what my understanding of forgiveness is as a person kind of sits on this level where it's they betrayed me and learning to forgive them. So now being a part of this story and watching my fellow castmates who have true connections to people that were interned, that went through this, watching them actively forgive within the hall or hear about what forgiveness is to their family, that I'm still processing the learning of that. I remember, I've got to say, I went to the first rehearsal and I always talked. I talk too fucking much. So I was sitting there in day one and talking too much. And I was driving home and I felt so disappointed in myself. And I was thinking about I'm occupying too much space and all these things. And when I went home, I just walked in the door and I looked at my partner and I went, oh my God, just grace. I just need to practice grace. And I said to him, I'm like, I haven't sat in a room where there was such active grace happening by so many individuals. So I'm learning about forgiveness and I'm learning about grace, Jill, so much.
Oh my goodness, I know, because when it's their turn to share their story, yeah, a lot of people want to kind of come in with their own, but that's okay, you know. It's the human condition. We're all so different, you know, but somebody like me, I always think, like, she's a queen. She's so perfect the way you are, you know, the way you appear yourself to others, though. The way you treat them is always, like, on point. So never worry about that. You never leave anyone feeling sad, you know? And I know if you do, you probably make up for it, like, right away. So has this, and then my mom asked, has this play taught you anything? So I think we just answered that, but very good questions, Mom. Very good questions. So I want to know more about you as a person and how you manage to have, like, twins, like, because they're like how old now, right?
4.
But, like, I remember, yeah, so it's a journey in itself, you know. You've had to really focus on family for a long time. So I think, like, for you always did act. You never really stopped just because you became a mom, and, like, that actually makes me feel like, oh my gosh, if she can not quit her career because of this, you know, and keep her passion going. But that must be a lot of work to manage, like, family. Like, how do you do that, babe? Is there a process, like a way you kind of manage yourself?
Yeah, well, my number one is my partner. Then I'm not just saying that. I couldn't do the work I've been doing, and parent the kids the way I want them to be parented without Jono. So 100%, like 100%, my partner, which I'm very fortunate every day for that. The exchange and the relationship that we get to practice. But the truth is, you know, Jill, not to get on a soapbox about it, but I remember even in my master's, I remember asking this woman, I'm like, how do you have the career you have and still be a mom? And everyone kind of says, oh, you can, and nothing will change. And you know what? It does change everything, and it's really hard. And what I've been learning is that when kids are born, your priorities shift. And I believe they should shift. And so what happened for me, this is just my story, Jill, but, you know, I was terrified about losing my identity as an artist because it is who I am and I love what I do. And so I started when the kids were 6 weeks old, working, and I didn't stop.
Oh, wow.
And even through COVID, I didn't stop.
You're in need, you know. Yeah, people want you all the time, so it's not just like you're searching for this. Like, I know people wanting you a part of stuff.
Yeah, but even the coaching was really important for me, and it really took off in COVID. But what's happened, my truth to you, to answer your question, is I'm not doing it well right now. I'm having a really, really hard time. Like, traveling far from them, you know. I know your heart's like missing a little bit because they're not there with you. Yeah, I think so. And then even when they are there with me, you know, it's just that struggle to try to honor your priorities. And so what I'm excited for, I was feeling a lot of guilt, and I'm trying to work through that guilt with my support network. No, but it's true, right? It's what
it is the thing that I hear about from moms. Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to
do, I'll tell you just one thing. Every success that you have, right, are generational issues. Okay, just like this, what we're going through with the play and what the message they're trying to do, is that you have to learn to forgive yourself for the mistakes you made, because your kids can feel that, you know, and anyone around you, if you're feeling like, oh, the anxiety, you know, people can feel that energy. So I say to you, hon, like, the way anyone looks at you is that you're doing such a good job, but behind the scenes, yeah, hon, we know it's really hard to manage everything.
Real, right? But it's good to talk about, like, and I really love talking about it on something like the heels of Women's Day, because I think it's just about being true to yourself. So I'm really excited for this project because I'm honoring it. But after this, I'm excited to take time and do more parenting, like just practicing no to things that aren't within my direct priority path. So yeah, that's my truth around it. My honest truth to you is that it's not as pretty as it may look on the outside, but you know, one thing I did think, I really made an active choice, like for my daughter and my son, I wanted them to grow up watching a woman do something that she loves for her profession. So I'll never stop doing it because I want them both to see that. But it's not a perfect bow, like, oh, you can do anything. That's not my experience. My experience, but it's really humbling. right? And you just do the best that you can, and you ebb and flow with your emotional shifts and with the needs of your kids and the needs of your art. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to ebb and flow, Jill. Ebb and flow.
Well, like I say, the most important thing in life too is how you treat people.
Yeah.
So I know maybe you're going behind the scenes. You're like, life is like figuring every little thing to wake them up, put them to get out the door. It's like impossible in a certain way, right? But I feel like at least you're a good person in the way of how you're treating everybody and the way you make them feel like heard and warm, and like you look them in the eye and you say, "Hi, I'm Alana," and you like shake their hand and do the whole thing. And that's not really like common anymore, baby. You come into a room and people are like, "Hey, yeah, I don't even care if you're not the person. If you're not that person they need to do something with, forget it. Not gonna even say hello to you." And I feel like that's a lesson I want people to listen to on the podcast and when they're watching this, to know that that's why you're so beloved in this community, because you treat people well. And it goes a far way. You know, your artistic ability speaks for itself. But that's like why I really support you in a real way, is like the person behind there. I see you, babe. So it's so nice to see somebody so pure and good to people. It's very rare in film and TV, okay? I'm just saying. So let's get more into your coaching and how do people, you know, give her a break, you guys. She needs this like a little break after this play is done in April. But how would people even reach out to you when they are like in that moment when they've got that audition? I noticed that like a lot of people who are like given her in their careers and need that extra push to like get that role come to you, and I feel like, okay, well, you know, what's up? How does that work? How can people reach out?
Yeah, usually, honestly, it's word of mouth, so just getting emails from word of mouth, or even the website, right? Just going on the website. If you Google, people know the beauty of the internet. Like, I remember having to hunt down phone numbers and leave voicemails, right? But now, like, just Google it, just the name's out there, find my name, and reach out to me through the...
Yeah, and it's just her name, you guys, Alana Hawley Purvis.com.
Yeah. So you can contact me through there, but it's really neat, Jill. A lot of, you know, I do teach acting, I do teach voice, and I do coach it, but a lot of the coaching I do these days is actually in trans vocal care, so helping to change the gender identity in a person's voice that, you know, is looking to represent who they truly and fully are. So a lot of trans vocal care and trans vocal coaching is where I do a lot of the work now. Which is,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's so fulfilling. The only reason I never ever thought that I'd go down a voice path, but for me it really inspires me, the connection between self-esteem and how one vocally expresses themselves. So
yeah. Oh my goodness. I have a dear friend of mine who's trans. It has never come out. You know, I should tell them to connect with you, because they're still like looking for that and like being that person behind the scenes that they can't be open or whatever because who they are. And I feel like, yeah, oh my goodness, I never knew that. Maybe we're talking today to help somebody, you know, I don't know, because they really want that, you know, and I think just being able to have a coach that talks about that, oh my goodness, you guys, there's a lot of people in Calgary. There's a community of pageantry in Calgary with, it's all trans, women and men. And, oh my goodness, I should tell them about you guys. I'm going to share this to them and let them know that they have support if they need it, because it's not just acting you're going to teach them. That's like a life skill, you know, that's something to feel themselves in the way they want. So that's beautiful that you do that. I had no clue you do that.
I know.
How did you go into that?
COVID. My sister is a beautiful doctor who specializes in LGBTQ plus care. And years ago, they were opening something called the Wellness Clinic in Alberta. And she said, you know, I think that, because there's SLPs, amazing speech language pathologists that do trans vocal care and do help to change the gender identity in one's, you know, assigned by birth voice. But she just kept hearing more about what vocal coaching is as an actor and how we train our voices as performers, as singers and actors. And she was like, I think that this is a brilliant way in, because there's no pathology that has to be fixed in their voice. They just need to learn how to take on different vocal qualities to represent who they truly are. And so that's when we started about 6-7 years ago. deepening that work. And we even went to beautiful world conferences about it and talking about it in Sweden. So it's been amazing, and the work, I think, has really, hopefully, all I care about is that it's been beneficial for the clients, and I think it's been going well so far. But yeah, it started with my sister, Dr. Chronopoulos, and then it went into COVID. It kind of blew up during COVID. So it was a magnificent gift for me to be humbled and learn through my clients with transvocal care during COVID years. Yeah.
Good for you. And I remember seeing, that you were doing that during that time. Yeah. And I think I wanted to reach out to you, but I wasn't sure, like, if you wanted to promote that in a way. You were doing so well, I felt. But you never know what somebody's going behind the scenes. Like, don't ever be scared to reach out to somebody. And some, things, like, don't always work out at the same time that you want it to. And I always kind of see the truth behind somebody. Oh my goodness, guys. So when I set up an interview with somebody and say it doesn't work out or they have to reschedule, there are times that, the people will be like, you know what, forget you, and so mad and don't understand, like, that maybe I'm going through something behind the scenes. So sometimes, like, I'm doing my best to make sure I'm there for everyone, going to that play, like that thing. Like, I even told my mother, like, I have to go to this play. And it wasn't really something that, it was to support you. I'd be like, oh, Alana, oh my God, Jared, oh my God, Garrick. All these people who I've idolized and who are like the real actors in Calgary, if you want to say, like, doing the career as and I'm just so glad you guys are all together doing this, because it kind of shouts out to Calgary. And I know you're not Calgary, you're Vancouver based, but I feel like so many people know you here, and you started did so much here before, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, so much for sitting with us today, right after you're at the, I'm sure you want to get wherever you're going now.
Do you want to get a little behind the scenes at Theatre Calgary here?
Would you?
Yeah. Hold on.
You guys, check this out.
Dressing room.
Okay.
I'm so.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'll try not to get too many people that are. Here we go. Here's some behind the scenes crew.
Yeah.
Amazing. These are some of our amazing dressers. We're just live on Instagram, you guys. They're incredible. This is Kelsey and Rachel and Chelsea. She saves my life every day.
Shout out to you guys.
I know they're amazing. Here, come up to the backstage. We'll do a little sneak peek. Here we go. This is where an actor enters the stage. And here we go. We have some of the behind the scenes, behind the stage. So we have Brandon, who's amazing, making everything happen. Yeah. And there's incredible projections that happen.
So many corridors.
Yeah. And then here's the incredible house. So it's going to be just.
Oh, wow. So how many people do you expect to be there?
I don't know. I know an opening. It's a totally sold out house. Totally sold out house. And Mark Sakamoto, the Sakamoto family. Mark, who's the author of Forgiveness, the novel. He's got 90 people, 90 family members, I've heard, coming to opening night. I know. There were 50 Sakamoto family members in opening night in Vancouver. So it's going to be, like, amazing. The team here is just
they're really supportive. Yeah, they're following with you guys.
Cool. It'll be so cool.
Where's Jared? We want to see Jared.
I know. I think he's gone out to But yeah, no.
Yes, the elusive Jared. I love him so much. I'm really excited to see Garrett. Yes, my goodness, Griffin, because he has been working so hard. Like, he's always everywhere. He's one of the most famous people out of Calgary, Alberta, that's so humble with who he is. So, we can't wait to see the play, you guys. And you're in 4 different characters. So that will be fun to spot you. Like, I'll be listening for your voice in that way. But sometimes, like, you can't tell when somebody makes a switch, like who they are. And it's like, imagine switching a character in 2 seconds, like the way she has to do, guys. Amazing. So thank you so much, Alana, Hawley, Purvis. Go to her website, that's her name, and follow her on socials. And you guys, you're going to see her in the next issue of I'm Here With, that's going to Chapters and local in Calgary.
Thank you, Jill.
Here's my
I'm Here With.